Hi everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Three of Cups and Knight of Wands. Queen of Swords. Okay. Seeing Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords next to each other, can be an interesting combination to see because they can be kind of a bit different from one another. With the Knight of Wands, this is an energy that goes sort of more off of attraction, more off of gut instinct. When we have Queen of Swords, this can be more analytical and more composed, whereas the Knight of Wands can be more impulsive at times. It can be less well thought out, whereas the Queen of Swords is very well thought out. Queen of Swords is very calculated. But it feels more actually like a merging of these energies because we're seeing the Three of Cups here. So this can actually be a great combination because Knight of Wands can bring an energy to Queen of Swords that Queen of Swords isn't already tapped into, and vice versa. And so this can be a good thing because it can add some passion, it can add some excitement while also remaining level-headed, while also thinking about things. So there's the excitement of we can do this or we can do that, or maybe this is what we should go after or move towards, and feeling kind of brave or feeling excited or feeling really pulled towards things and being really in touch with that part of oneself that feels the magnetic connection to things. And then having Queen of Swords following can mean taking the time to review. Is that a good idea? Is that really something that I want to do? Is that really something that I want to move forward with? Is this the best choice to be making? To use your discernment. So rather than just going through something when we have Knight of Wands without thinking about it, Queen of Swords is there to make sure that we are really thinking through the choices that we're making rather than acting on something and then looking at what happens and saying, man, if I would have thought about that or thought that through, I may not have done that. So that's the beauty of having the Queen of Swords here with this. Queen of Swords is looking kind of tired to me. I'm seeing Queen of Swords be connected with Ten of Wands. This can be like, I'm tired of analyzing, I'm tired of thinking, I'm tired of breaking things down. I feel like I'm just so much in my head. Can feel kind of congested. There's energy here to help facilitate prioritizing. At the same time, you can feel like you're feeling tired of balancing things actually. So I'm seeing Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords both actually being your energy here. What this seems like to me is that there's a like making sure that we're meeting the needs of the Knight of Wands and that is not cramping the needs of the Queen of Swords. So there are both of these things that have to be balanced. Like you have to be embodying both of these energies. What this means is that your life force and your willpower and you really being there and being present and your spirit being involved in what you're doing is really important. And then also the thinking matters through, but you can feel in a way like these energies sometimes have a little bit of a different agenda. If you get to a space that's purified enough, they will be saying the same thing to you, but this feels more so like if you have two rowdy archetypes within you, and both of them can be a bit much to try to deal with. It's like instead of just babysitting one child, you're babysitting two children, and they are the archetypes within you. And so the Knight of Wands is the part of you that get really excited, want to run around, don't want to have to think about what it is that you're doing, and like there's this thing over there and then there's that thing. Think about like having Knight of Wands, that really big gust of energy with you in an antique store where there's a bunch of glass. So Queen of Swords is the part of you that's like, Knight of Wands, don't go over there and don't touch that, and you need to be careful if you're playing with it. And so it's sort of those parts of your energy where there can be one part that's like, I want to have fun, I want this to be exciting, I want to explore, and isn't so worried about like, what if this breaks and then I'm gonna have to take care of it or whatever. It's more so like wants to do the fun thing, wants to do the exciting thing, the ambition, the thrill of it, the spontaneity. And then the part of you that's the Queen of Swords is like, is this a good idea? But to the point where sometimes it can become kind of dry. And so that can be difficult because Queen of Swords can feel like it stifles the part of us that is the Knight of Wands. That's like, why are we living life if we're not going to be having fun? Would kind of be like the Knight of Wands narrative to the Queen of Swords. And then the Queen of Swords can be like, Knight of Wands, you're stressing me out. Like, this is too much. You're being too intense right now. This is too heightened. And we need to find a happy medium with these two energies. And so doing this dance is looking like it's becoming exhausting. Like, there can be a part of you that you're actually trying to restrain a bit, it seems. So Knight of Wands is that part of you that like you want to do what you want to do now and not so much be so concerned with the consequences because this is just what you feel drawn to do. And so having that Ten of Wands can feel like I'm trying to get a handle on that part of my energy. And I'm trying to soothe, I'm trying to ground, I'm trying to relax, because there's another part of you that is like the Queen of Swords is coming off more as like an adult part of you that's like, hey, if you do that, there are going to be consequences, there will be an impact, and even like karmic impact of things. And so the one part of you that's like not so concerned about that and not so worried, there's the other part of you stepping in and saying, but this is also something that you'll have to deal with as well, like we all will. And so it can feel like a challenge when you're dealing with those two energies, and they kind of like, they have different needs, they sort of want to have a different experience, but here they are together and we have to get them to work together. So you can feel like allowing these energies to come together within yourself so you can get them on the same page. That's the challenge. So you're trying to do that. And how this can come out is that you can feel like sort of split. There can be one part of you that's like, I want to do this, we should do this. And another part of you is like, that's not a good idea. And then the part of you that's saying that's not a good idea is like, we should do things like this. And then the part of you that's the Knight of Wands is like, but where's the fun in that? And so like having that back and forth within the energy, doing that dance is about figuring out like what the most important parts are of each of these archetypes, what they need, and how to blend that. Because there's definitely a need to blend here with the Three of Cups, because you don't want to be doing something and then feel like you prioritize one of the energies over the others, and then there's going to be some type of conflict that grows from this, or like a disharmony that grows from this. And so actually what may happen is that before making a move, there may be a pause that you end up taking to allow everything to come to light that needs to come to light. Because maybe even too, for some of you, you could be faced with a decision or faced with some choices. And this can be a time where if you get these energies on the same page, the correct way will be illuminated for you. Otherwise, you can feel like it comes from a place that is not fully processed. and then you're going to be sort of stuck with the impact of that, of operating in that way. It feels good that these energies are coming together. At the same time, it can feel taxing. And because of 10 of Wands being here, of there being that feeling of being taxed, that can make it more hard for us to be tapped into the part of us that is the Queen of Swords. What that means is that when it comes to logic, when it comes to reason, when it comes to your ability to be incisive, when we are feeling taxed, it's harder to tap into those higher levels of energy, those higher analytical levels of energy. And so it brings us to a place where there is a need to recover that energy. So before going out and doing more stuff or making choices, because you may not feel like you're in the best place to be doing that, there can be more of a, I need to go and I need to sit with this before I do that. And that actually being the more challenging, I think, move to make here, but actually the more necessary one, because that's when everything comes to light. Because the Knight of Wands will be the part of you that, you know, it's in a shadow space. If it's saying this needs to happen right now and is sort of pushing you in a way that feels ungrounded to do something instantly before you feel fully ready because you need to think something through. So that's how you'll know that it's in a shadow space. And then how you'll know that Queen of Swords is in a shadow space is the part of you that wants to like problem solve, but redundantly where no move is being made. And so you have to find a happy medium between these two energies where there is inspired action that's being taken, yet not so impulsively that the part of you that needs to really think things through and use logic and reason is totally offline. So it's going to be the combination of both of those energies. And it's to make sure that they're doing things from a reconciled place. Because if these energies are not reconciled, you're going to feel like this situation kind of splits you in two. And then that's going to feel like you're splitting off from yourself. And it's going to feel like it creates sort of an unleveling. And then you're going to have to go back and sort of connect these pieces again. Whereas you don't even have to break them apart in the first place. You can keep them together. It feels like it may be actually more challenging to lean on your side of logic, which also means too, Knight of Wands, like fire and water with one another, that's more like, I'm not thinking about how this is going to affect me later. I'm just going off of how I'm feeling. So you have the fire side. And then you have the Queen of Swords, which is the air side of things, that is wanting to think in a more calculated way, like wanting to think at all in the first place. Knight of Wands may not really want to think about things. There's just like I'm feeling like I want to do this, and so I want to do this. And so what I'm seeing is that the part of you, we have Knight of Wands coming out first, and we also have the Sun here, which is more fiery energy, more malefic energy that we have, which makes it very powerful, and also like wanting to be gratified as well. When we have these energies here, they can be more difficult to contain an aspect of you that doesn't want to be contained by a part of you that's wanting to contain it in organized thought, understanding reason and logic. But that's actually what's very necessary here, because otherwise this feels like Knight of Wands does not need to be going unchecked. This feels like the part of you that gets excited about stuff and wants to do things and may get carried away sometimes needs to not go unchecked. Because the Queen of Swords is the one that's going to save you from doing something that later on you're going to be like, well, I was just feeling it in the moment, and now I can't believe that I did that. So even though it may be more difficult to get the Queen of Swords part of you to come online, it's really necessary here to be activating both of these energies. especially the empowerment of both of these energies. Because Knight of Wands is that part of you that may get really excited about something, but then will do something that you end up realizing later on wasn't in alignment, and then that's going to feel disempowering to you. And then there will be things that will start blocking your energy because it was out of alignment. So this is why it's important to be making choices from a place of harmony rather than a place of discord, or like shutting one part off so you can go and do the thing over there. Balancing the dance with these energies is going to bring what needs to come to light to light. And also to make sure that before you're going and doing something that you're thinking it through. And if you are at a place where that part of you is not really available or there, or is drained energetically, get it back to where it needs to be, and then you resume things. Because I'm having 10 of Wands and then having 4 of Swords and having 9 of Wands, it shows like a really major exertion of energy where we may not be thinking so clearly. We may have been already doing a lot of thinking and problem solving and reasoning and logic and psychological understanding, and that part of us can be feeling tired. And so you don't want the other part of you that when you get a little bit lazy sort of takes over but then crashes the vehicle. You don't want that to be happening. And so rather than moving at that point, there can be a stillness as your energy gathers back, and then you move from there to complete what needs to be completed here, okay? All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.